Welcome back, everyone. Today it's I'm here, and I'm gonna tell a little story. So, one of the weirdest questions you could probably ask someone is, "What's your favorite tree?" Well, I always thought that was a weird question, because most of the time, I can't really tell the difference between trees. I can maybe distinguish, like, dogwood, oak, and birch trees from each other, but other than that, I don't know. But probably my favorite tree comes from a stupid backstory of mine. So, in third grade, I went to this private school. Let's call it St. A. Because if I say the real one, then people are going to track me down. Anyway, so at St. A, there was this little tree behind, right next to where all the kids played. There was a little playground for the really little kids, and then the blacktop for every kid that's like second grade and up. So next to this blacktop, there was this big tree that would rarely bloom. And I thought it was weird that it would rarely bloom. Like, usually trees... So I thought it was just a kind of tree that doesn't have anything to bloom. So, one day it did. It was near the beginning of spring, and it grew all these tiny, beautiful little white flowers. Now, I absolutely loved them, and everybody was gathering around to see this big, pretty tree. Like, girls were picking flowers from it and looking at all the petals falling on the ground. It was really pretty. So I remember loving the flowers too, so I picked a few and then I brought them inside, because recess had just ended. So I put the flowers in my desk because I didn't know where to put them, because if I put them in my locker, then I wouldn't be able to see them or smell them. Well, at first, they smelled so sweet, like a lily, maybe. But, like, over time, they quickly started to degrade. Like, first it started with the flowers turning a bit brown, and something started to stink. I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought it was maybe, like, someone brought something gross in from outside. So I just kept sitting at my desk and paying attention to the teacher. But the smell just kept getting grosser and more potent. It smelled like, to me, it smelled like rotting fish that had been left out in the sun for a week. So I kept sitting at my desk, and I realized something that I did was stinking, so I was, like, looking everywhere around, and eventually I found out that it was the flowers. And by this point, not only had it stunk up my desk, my clothes, my everything, it stunk up pretty much the entire classroom. So I quickly realized, hey, I probably shouldn't have these flowers that smell like rotting flesh. So I threw them in the trash. And of course, it was the classroom trash, so that didn't make the problem any better. So for the rest of the day, my entire body smelled like rotting fish. Both my clothes, my everything. Even my backpack started smelling like it, even though my backpack was in my locker at the time. So, yeah, that's a stupid little story of my favorite tree being... So, the reason I made this video, because I just found out what kind of tree it was today. I thought it was a dogwood tree because that's what everybody said it was at the playground. And I looked it up to find out what kind of tree it was because I was like, is it a dogwood tree? It was not a dogwood tree. It is apparently called the Bradford pear tree, which smells like sailors. Trying to say that without getting demonetized. Not that I get any money from it. But it said it specifically smelled like rotting fish. And I found the picture, and apparently there's a ton of articles that I had never seen for this. I was like, how had not ever seen an article for this terrible tree? I don't know. Anyway, that was my stupid story of my favorite tree being one that really fights back. Like, they really want to set a point that you don't want to pick the flowers. Well, comment below what your favorite tree is, and maybe we can hear a few other stories from it.